Imagine standing before a creature so massive that entire platoons of tanks cannot pierce its armor. Blaster fire scatters across its hide, lightsabers fail to cut its scales, and yet this same beast can be exhausted, but only by pure energy. The legendary Zillo Beast is often described as indestructible, but what if its true power doesn't lie in durability, but in something entirely different? Today we're exploring a scientific theory of how the Zillo Beast might actually function, a living electrical radiator powered by energy, cooled by its armor, and capable of surviving forces that would totally obliterate nearly any other organism in the galaxy. First, consider the creature's metabolism. Most animals rely on chemical food to power their bodies through cellular respiration, converting nutrients into usable energy. But some organisms in real-world microbiology can pull electrons directly from their surroundings through a process known as extracellular electron transfer. Scientists call this lifestyle electrotrophy. While this phenomenon only exists in microbes on Earth, scaling the concept upwards provides a fascinating model for the Zillo Beast. Instead of eating traditional food, the creature may absorb electrical energy directly from its environment. This would make it less a conventional predator and more like a biological power plant, drawing in raw electrons and converting them into metabolic fuel. Such an energy system would dramatically affect the beast's physiology. A creature metabolizing electricity would likely operate at an incredibly high metabolic rate, requiring consistent internal circulation of ions, heat, and oxygen. This may explain why the Zillo Beast possesses an extraordinarily fast heart rate, going as fast as 300 beats per minute. In most large animals, heart rates slow as the body size increases, but a metabolism driven by intense electrical intake could require constant rapid circulation to regulate temperature, move charged particles, and stabilize internal chemistry. The beast's cardiovascular system would therefore function as a rapid transport network, an intense cooling system, and electrical regulator. Another intriguing consequence of this biology would be the absence of anaerobic respiration, the metabolic pathway responsible for producing lactic acid when the muscles run out of oxygen. In normal animals, intense exercise leads to lactate buildup and fatigue, but if the Zillo Beast's body is continually supplied with massive amounts of electrical energy and oxygen circulation, its muscles remain fully aerobic at all times. In simple terms, the beast would never experience the metabolic bottleneck that causes exhaustion in other animals. This could explain its incredible endurance and ability to sustain prolonged activity during combat. However, such intense energy input would create a serious problem: heat. Any system converting large amounts of energy inevitably produces thermal waste, and a creature the size of the Zillo Beast would generate extraordinary internal temperatures. Without a powerful cooling system, the animal would literally cook itself from the inside out. This brings us to one of its most iconic features: its massive armored scales. The Zillo Beast's armor famously resists the blades of a lightsaber, a weapon composed of contained plasma capable of slicing through most materials in the galaxy. Rather than being purely defensive structures, these plates might actually function as giant biological heat radiators. Many animals on Earth already use body structures primarily for thermoregulation. The large ears of the elephant are filled with blood vessels that release heat into the air. The oversized bill of the toucan acts as a thermal radiator that can rapidly dump excess warmth. Even prehistoric creatures likely relied on similar systems. The sail of Dimetrodon and the plates of Stegosaurus may have been vascularized heat exchangers used to regulate body temperature. The Zillo Beast's heat scales could represent an extreme version of this strategy. By spreading across its body like enormous armored plates, they could conduct heat away from internal tissues, distribute it across their surfaces, and radiate it outwards into the surrounding environment. If these plates contain dense crystalline or metallic compounds, they could also disperse energy rapidly across their structure. In other words, the very feature that makes this beast appear invulnerable may actually be a biological cooling system operating on an incredibly massive scale. This thermoregulation theory also explains why lightsabers struggle to cut through the beast's armor. A lightsaber blade is essentially a column of superheated plasma. If the Zillo Beast's scales evolved to absorb and dissipate intense thermal energy, the plates would naturally resist such weapons. Instead of melting, the heat from the blade would spread across the armor's surface and radiate away before it could penetrate deeply. What appears to be indestructible armor may also just be a structure designed to handle enormous thermal loads, but interestingly, the same biological advantage may have been the creature's weakness. During the events of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the Republic attempted to subdue the Beast using concentrated fire from RX-200 Falchion-class assault tanks. These tanks project massive continuous laser beams vastly larger and more sustained than the bursts delivered by a lightsaber. Rather than piercing the scales directly, the barrage likely overwhelmed the Beast's thermal regulation system. By flooding the plates with constant energy, the Republic effectively saturated the creature's cooling capacity. Heat and electrical stress would build faster than the armor could disperse it, and that would force the animal into metabolic overload and eventual exhaustion. This method of attack makes perfect sense if the Republic's goal was to capture the beast alive. Under orders from Palpatine, the military sought to study the creature's armor for potential weaponization. Destroying the beast would have defeated that purpose entirely. So instead, the sustained bombardment acted like an environmental stress test, pushing the Zillo Beast's biological systems past their limits without really penetrating its defenses. Another layer of complexity may lie in the creature's stress response. In most animals, the hormone epinephrine triggers the fight or flight reaction, increasing heart rate, blood flow, and metabolic output. In an electricity-powered organism, adrenaline might serve as a regulator for electrical intake. During moments of extreme stress, the beast could open specialized conductive pathways throughout its body, allowing it to absorb greater amounts of electrical energy and temporarily boost its power output. This would effectively allow the animal to overclock its metabolism during combat, dramatically increasing its strength and activity, while simultaneously producing even greater heat that must be expelled through its scales. Taken together, these traits paint a picture of the Zillo Beast as an extraordinarily specialized organism. Its body may operate as a living electrical engine fueled by environmental energy rather than traditional food. Its rapid circulation regulates heat, ions, and oxygen, and its massive armor scales function as a biological radiator capable of dispersing enormous thermal loads. And when those systems are overwhelmed, even a creature of legendary durability can be forced into exhaustion. Seen through this scientific lens, the Zillo Beast becomes even more fascinating. Its legendary armor may not have evolved for defense at all, but the cooling system for one of the most powerful metabolisms in the galaxy. Before we end this video, I just wanted to say that it was a super fun topic to cover. I have a bachelor's degree in animal behavior and have studied systems like this in a variety of different ways, and although it may seem redundant applying scientific understanding to a universe where literal space wizards exist and almost nothing follows the laws of science, I find it really fun to dive into. So if you'd like to see more videos like this, let me know down in the comments below what you'd like to see next. And as always, may the Force be with you.